Bravo team review for the PlayStation VR.
Let's begin!
First up, let's take a look at the gameplay. Bravo Team is a cover-based shooter. To move up to the next piece of cover, you simply look at the place you want to move to and press a button. When you move forward, the enemy sometimes moves back. When this happens, their shooting patterns can become a bit unfair, as they won't be taking turns to shoot at you like other cover-based shooting games. Instead, they all shoot at once, making it extremely unfair. When you pass by an enemy, they can just ignore you and sit there. The AI is very poor in this game, especially with your AI partner. You can command your partner to hide behind a piece of cover. This works well, but when you're not commanding them, they are less than intelligent. This is especially noticeable when they come to revive you. They will run out into the open and completely ignore the enemy. It's simply not very realistic, and in one mission they got stuck inside a wall, which forced me to restart. It was especially annoying, as the game only saves after you beat a mission. There are checkpoints you return to if you die though, but you never return to one of these if you go back to the main menu. Most of the guns do feel great to shoot, but there isn't too many of them. You get a pistol, assault rifle, shotgun, and a sniper. You can only carry 2 guns at a time, with one always being the pistol. You find new weapons and gun crates that are located at certain parts of the game. It really is best to change to the new gun type because of the level layout ahead. You also find ammo crates scattered around the level. You will want to keep an eye out for these, as it is very possible to run out of ammo, and being left with a slower firing pistol that has infinite ammo really does put you in harm's way. The game is incredibly repetitive, as you are just moving from one cover to another. The game tries to change up the gameplay with some stealth sections, but they are incredibly linear. They really don't give you the chance to be creative and get the drop on the enemy in different ways. Sometimes the game does allow the team to split up, but both routes are still linear and don't diverge that much from the main route. The game can be played in 3 different difficulties and can also be played entirely in co-op, online with a friend or a random person. Playing with someone else makes the game so much better, and it proves just how much of a bad influence your AI partner has on the AI enemies. Playing with a real person doesn't completely fix everything, but it's certainly the best way to play the game and makes it a lot more fun. The game also has a score attack mode. In score attack mode, headshots give you more points, and the quicker you kill enemies one after another, the better the score. You can't die in this mode, but you can get knocked down, which will take time away from your precious score multiplier that is seen at the bottom of the screen. It's a great inclusion and gives an incentive to replay each level, especially as this mode can also be played in co-op. Now let's take a look at how immersive this game is. The story is that your escort mission goes wrong, which results in the President's assassination. It's not very well developed at all, and you're not going to care about the characters. You see the twist coming from a mile away, and it's simply not engaging. Everything is very crisp and clear. The depth is amazing on the guns, and you can be very precise when looking down the sights of the assault rifle. In a lot of games, looking through the sight of a gun can be a bit difficult due to the blurriness. It's not a problem with this gun though, and is actually one of the best in a PSVR game. The sniper rifle's scope is a bit of a problem though, and due to the blurriness, it is quite hard to line up a shot. You do see your arms and body in the game, but the way they move doesn't feel natural, especially when one hand ungrips the gun. Although seeing your arms in VR games visually looks more realistic, if they are not fluid with your own movements, it is incredibly immersion breaking. Also making you feel less attached to your body is when the camera waits for your player to move from one cover to another. It's obviously been made this way to prevent motion sickness, but ultimately, these out-of-body-like experiences do break the immersion. The locations are very detailed, but overall, the locations really are quite forgettable. They're nothing we haven't seen already in a game before, and apart from one helicopter crash at the beginning of the game, they lack any real cinematic moments to leave an impression on each area or make them different from other shooters. The smoke effects are some of the best I've seen in a VR game. The clouds still obstruct your view as the smoke fluidly rises upwards. I was quite impressed by it. The game lacks music or a lot of location ambience. Some areas do have wind effects, but that's about it. It really does make the world feel empty. All of the guns sound great. The shotgun does take centre stage though, as it does sound and look very powerful each time a shot is fired. Now let's take a look at the setup and what controllers the game supports. The head tracking was perfect and the game did not make me motion sick. I began playing this game in a seated position just under 2 meters away from the camera, but after a couple of missions, it was obvious that the game is best played while standing. Although you can duck in and out of cover with a press of a button, the enemies can still shoot you from behind it. Standing allowed me to really crouch down to make my body less visible. You can choose to play as a male or female, which is a nice addition, but you won't find any other customization options here. You can choose what your most dominant hand is, so if you are left-handed, the game has you covered. The game can be played with the DualShock controller, 2 Move controllers, or the aim controller. The game is obviously not as immersive when playing with the DualShock controller, but honestly the shooting does feel great and you can be incredibly quick with your aiming. I was pleasantly surprised by how good it feels. Playing with the Move controllers feel terrible and is the worst control method. The aim controller is certainly the best way to play, if you have one. Now let's take a look at the length of the game and what trophies come with it. The main game took me around 2 hours and a half to beat. This was with an AI partner though, and because some of the bugs and annoying deaths, I do think playing in co-op would actually make the completion time quicker. Some of the trophies are hidden on PSN. I personally don't think they would spoil the game, but just in case, I'll leave them ones out. In total there is 22 trophies that can be achieved. There is 5 bronze, 9 silver, 7 gold and 1 platinum. Overall the platinum trophy is quite easy to achieve. A lot of the trophies are rewarded for simple things such as reviving your partner or killing 10 enemies with a sniper rifle. There is one for completing the game without dying, but it doesn't have a difficulty attached, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem achieving this on the rookie setting. The hidden trophies are basically ones that you would normally see in a trophy list for this type of game. Most of them will be unlocked naturally on your first playthrough. Unfortunately, there is no trophies rewarded for getting a good score in the score attack mode, which is a real shame and such a wasted opportunity. And now it's time for the verdict. The game certainly has its fun moments, but it's outweighed by negative ones, especially when playing with an AI partner. Frustration occurred every few minutes due to a not so well placed piece of cover or poor AI. When you are shot from behind a piece of cover, it obviously becomes across very unfair and you can't really prevent it. There is no way of officially knowing if some pieces of cover will work properly or not. Because of this, I do actually think it would have been more fun if the whole game was on rails. It would have certainly sorted out the AI problem. If you are planning on playing the game with the AI partner, I simply can't recommend it, especially at its launch price. The co-op is great fun though, and I highly suggest that if you do decide to get the game, that you jump straight into playing with a friend. Hopefully we will see some patches in the future, but even after the bug fixes, I'm not so sure it will completely save it from being quite a dull and repetitive shooting game. It's such a shame that this is the game we got after seeing some amazing trailers. Please Supermassive, just make Rush of Blood 2. As always, if you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more PlayStation VR content.